Good day, everybody. This is BA Radiant Dawn, and I got a little bit of a different video for you guys today. As you can see, not the usual overlay setup that I'd normally have, because this time this is a video that's not discussing Fae. It's not technically discussing Fire Emblem, it's discussing an event called Emblemcon. And joining me today, I have one of the main heads for Emblemcon with me. I got Aka.
Hi! Lovely to be here.
So, the main reason why I want to discuss this today is because, from my experience, not many people seem to know what the deal is with Emblemcon, or how it functions, what it, like all that fun stuff. So, having Aka on here is going to be super helpful in kind of giving the background for it. And I only joined as a mod not too terribly long ago, so I don't know much beyond that. So she'll have way more context than I will. So
what? Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was just going to ask, what in particular would you like to know?
Well, first off, so let's talk a little bit about Emblemcon for a second here. Like, let's go with how it got started, because that's a story that you'll know better than me. So.
So Emblemcon started in April 2020. My other co-host Misty, she and a group of friends saw that the Fire Emblem Expo in Japan, that's an in-person event, got cancelled because of COVID, and obviously this was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So she decided with a group of her friends, what if we made a little Fire Emblem convention over Discord, so that fans from all over the world could attend. I then saw this and had some experience with running previous Fire Emblem fan events through Reddit and stuff, and I offered my help. And then May 2020 was our first Emblemcon event, and then it was hugely successful. We got 2,000 members in the server, loads of guests, and ever since, we've been back every year.
Yeah, and I think I first joined up in Emblemcon when you guys, I think it was Halloween or something, and you guys had Gast on.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I heard of it, and I'm like, oh, okay. I only ended up joining for his panel because I just didn't have the time, but yeah, it was pretty fun. So let's talk a little bit about the kind of things that we do when it comes to Emblemcon. So
of course.
So we tend to have we have voice actors join us. We have Fire Emblem / Fae-tubers sometimes. We get a bunch of artists, bunch of shops for artists, artists that sell, artists that sell stuff, or Fire Emblem merchandise, or anything else I'm forgetting off the top of my head.
Panelists, just generic fan-run panels, not by anyone who's maybe a creator in the community, maybe just individual people that have a fun idea for a Fire Emblem-based analysis, game, event, stuff like that.
Yeah, last year there was kind of a cosplay Q&A. I remember that one. There was oh god, what was that one game? There was one game that I took part in that was super, super fun, but I can't remember what it's called anymore.
Was that Anna's Roundtable?
No.
We've the D&D one.
No. Gartic Phone?
Gartic Phone, yes.
That was fun.
It's Fire Emblem themed party games.
Yeah, that was enjoyable too. Yeah, we tend to get a whole bunch of just a lot of community coming in and just enjoying a weekend of nothing but Fire Emblem.
There's also all different branches of the fandom get to come in. You've mentioned, artists. We've had Fire Emblem YouTubers, Fae-tubers. We've had people we even had a fan fiction exhibition where we featured some fan fiction that people had written. We have the cosplay panel. We've even had someone who has a band that does Fire Emblem based music and Fire Emblem covers. and we had like a live concert of that. So we've had all sorts of different like stretches of the fandom come together to produce all sorts of things.
Oh yeah, and it's always such a blast. Like the people that do the panels, from when I was talking to them, they just love this event, and they're just here for it. They're always happy to be taking part. The VAs just have a blast too, especially with last year was very entertaining. That's for sure.
We may have gotten slightly taken over by Allegra Clark last year.
Yeah, it was
maybe.
That was funny though. Unfortunately, I was stuck working, so I didn't get to I wasn't around for all of it. But like, I saw what happened. It was fantastic.
Allegra may have come in and taken over Christian Lamont's panel a little bit.
Yeah. Why not, like, off the top of your head, go through like a mini list of past VAs we've had on and who they voice, just for kind of like just in case there's some names that people aren't quite familiar with.
So we've tried to encourage, smaller VAs, larger VAs of like various different characters from various different games. So off the top of my head, we've had Rena Strober, who voices Azura in Fates and Heroes, and all of other Azura's appearances, I guess, like Warriors and stuff. Greg Chun, who voices mostly Ike at the moment, but also Ephraim, Lucas, and I think Eldigan. We've had Christian Lamont, who voices Ignatz. We've had Allegra Clark, Chris Hackney, who are Dorothea and Shamir for Allegra. Chris Hackney is Dimitri and Bowie. So we've had some like Three Houses VAs, some Heroes VAs. And we've tried to like encourage, VAs of characters who may be from games that aren't as popular. We've had Jenny Yokobori, who voices Eleonora from Tokyo Mirage Sessions in her Heroes appearance, as well as Elise in her Heroes appearance. And we've had like Koi Dao, who voices Walt in Heroes, and Nils in Heroes.
Yeah.
So we've had plenty, and we've had even more than that.
Oh yeah, you guys have had a lot of different VAs on, which is absolutely fantastic. I do find it funny how I didn't even think about this. So Greg Chun voices Ephraim and Ike, and they're both emblems in Engage. So he's like in the game twice.
Although Ephraim doesn't talk.
Oh.
He basically is very in character Ephraim. He shows up, stabs a guy, and leaves.
Dang, I was hoping that like Greg would be in the game twice. That'd be so funny.
Greg supporting Greg, which I think Matt Mercer did that in Warriors. I think the original Fire Emblem Warriors. I think like Ryoma and Chrom support each other or something.
Yeah, that's super funny. So for those of you who are wondering, the link down to the Emblemcon Discord is going to be down in the description below. So if you guys are curious about the event, you can hop on in there. I can't remember, when do we typically have the different rooms open? That's usually like a little while before, but not too, like, it's usually like a few days before or something?
Yeah, I think it's usually maybe like the day before.
Yeah. I
think to the public, it's either the day before or the day of. When you join the Discord, when the event's actually live, there'll be a message that you'll be able to react to get essentially access to all the servers. So you'll get the role of like Emblemcon 2022 badge, or obviously in this case Emblemcon 2023 badge, and that will then give you access to all the channels, so we'll create that role and set that all up, and either the day before or the day of, it just sort of varies. You'll be able to get that emote. You'll be able to get that, react to that, and then be able to gain access.
Yeah.
But anyone who has... Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, I'll let you finish.
Anyone who has a panel or an artist alley booth or anything like that, or any guests that we have, they'll get... So you can obviously join the server whenever you want. They'll get like a special role when we send out confirmation that basically gives them access to certain channels. Like, it won't give them access to like the discussion channels for each game and like the chat rooms discussions, but it'll give them access to, if they're an artist, they'll get access to the artist alley. If they're a panelist, they'll get access to like a panelist chat where they can basically just talk to the mods or talk to other guests, set stuff up, things like that. If you're an artist, it will let you set up your like artist alley booth and stuff like that, and you'll get access to that once we send out the results of the applications, which will be later this month.
Yeah. And like, so currently right now, I think the only thing that's really open is like the help desk, the pre-con general, and all that. But like, those are even fun places to hang out too. So if you guys want to hop in now, so you don't have to worry about it later, just in case you forget later, yeah, just hop in, say hi in pre-con. Well, we're always happy to chat with you. We're all Fire Emblem fans here. That's kind of what this con's all about. So bringing the Fire Emblem fans together and having a little bit of fun in the process.
Yeah, we've already seen like plenty of people discussing, like, not with spoilers because you're required to tag them, but like people discussing Engage and stuff since that's come out. We also have like a little introduction channel, so you can just basically see how diverse and varied the fandom is, and how we have fans of like all different Fire Emblem games. It's definitely not just like, you know, it's not like just Three Houses and Fates. It's like every game in the series.
Oh yeah, and every game has its own separate channel that you guys can like pop into once it's open, and like just discussion room of your favorite game, and it is fantastic. I hung around the Cypher chat and the Tellius ones mainly. Those were my little play areas, and it was just fantastic.
I think we both just sort of stalked the Tellius ones at times.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, okay, so last year, even though we didn't get to complete it, me and Akka kind of did like a Radiant Dawn race, which was super, super fun. We're both like massive Tellius fans. Like, favorite game in the series. Like,
oh, favorite game of all time for me is Radiant Dawn. I love it.
The Tellius games are so good. In terms of the panelists and vendors and all that, we do have applications open at the moment, and if you guys have any ideas for that, or you want to do something yourself, you can go into the announcement section of the server, or I think it's on Twitter as well, I believe. Yeah, and like there's a form for you to fill out and go through that process. It's not a very long process. It takes like next to no time at all, so. But yeah, hey, is there anything in particular you want to talk about in terms of, like, the different panels that people could, like, the stuff we've done in the past? I think we said, like, we did games before, we had the concert as well. Just kind of like...
We've had all sorts of panels so far, and there are so many panels that haven't even been tapped in terms of potential. So please, if you have any idea that's remotely fun, that's Fire Emblem related, you may as well enter it, because we're always looking for more and more different types of panelists. So as we said, we've had like concerts, we've had like silly tier lists where people will like jokingly tier characters on different traits. We've had kind of serious tier lists. We've had analyses of different games. Like, we've had like map analyses. I remember there was one that was like the worst maps in the series, and basically just dunking on all the worst maps. And we have a live chat, not just on Twitch but also on Discord, so people can just complain about others' opinions in a very mild manner and discuss the various talking points. We've had people, so we've had like Faytubers on who have had either like Q&As or as you said, you mentioned Fargas was on before. He did a video basically explaining how to get into becoming a Fire Emblem YouTuber. We've also had things like, well, we had in the very first Emblemcon, we had a panel basically trying to tell everyone to play Tokyo Mirage Sessions. That was great. I was a part of that. I will fully support that. So we've had, you know, various panels just either discussing games, analysing characters, tier lists, as you said, Gartic Phone, stuff like party games. We've also done like artist-themed ones, so one that the mods ran, where we had artists come on and draw Fire Emblem characters from memory. That was absolutely wild because, spoiler alert, everyone's bad at it, but they're actually talented artists, so it's also funny. We've just had all sorts, but there are so many different kinds of ideas that haven't even been taken, like, actual like game showcases, speed runs, like the mods have had like their own little ideas, and we're like, oh, we'd love if someone did this sort of thing. We have cosplay panels. We'd love to see more cosplay panels. You could even like bake a Fire Emblem cake or something. Like, there's all sorts of weird things you could do that you may as well apply to do, because there's no harm in it. If you don't get in, it's not going to affect anything for any future year. So bake a cake. Actually, the first thing I thought of is like, hey, what is the fastest speedrun of a Fire Emblem game, and can I beat it faster than a cake can bake? Shadow Dragon is about 20 minutes, so I think you'd struggle.
But it'd be interesting.
It would be.
Yeah, like, this is basically an opportunity to let your guys' like creative juices just flow. Whatever you like, if there's a crazy freaking idea that you're like, there's no way, like, not necessarily there's no way this will work, but it's like, this would be so fun to do. Do an application, because like I without spoiling anything, there was someone that I ran across on YouTube who does something that's super, super unique. So I was like, hey, you should do this. You should like apply as a panelist and see if you can like you could possibly get a panel for this, because this is a very unique idea. No one's ever done it. And that's the kind of thing that I personally love. I love weird, not really weird, but like really zany, unique ideas that no one's ever done. Like, I value that so much.
Yeah, you definitely don't need to feel like you have to fit into a certain box of panel idea. Like, we're just a fun Fire Emblem server. We just want to talk Fire Emblem. As long as it's Fire Emblem, we don't care. Yeah,
and typically in terms of the panel lengths, that's typically like an hour, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it can depend. Like, if you want to do a short panel, great, we can fit more panels in, brilliant. If you want to do a long panel, like, if you're running like 3 hours or more, we might have to like discuss things, and it obviously depends on how many applications we get, how many voice actors we have, what times people can do. Like, if you want to do a time that the Americans aren't around for, so shout out to any Europeans. If you Europeans or Asians or Oceanians or wherever you are, if you want to use a time zone that is not common, you could probably get away with like a longer panel. And we do have multiple like channels going at once, so it's not like we can't have any overlap. But so like an hour is roughly normal. You probably you can go longer than that. We've had many panels that are like 2 hours, but especially if you're entering more than one. If you enter like loads of 2-hour panels, might not get all of them, and it obviously just depends on what time zone you're going for as well.
Yeah, I think there was a pair last year. I remember because specifically I ended up being the streamer for their panels. There was like 1 or 2 people who did like 2 or 3 panels last year. And
we've had people
fun.
Apply this year to do more than one as well.
Yeah.
Definitely don't feel like you can only apply for one. You can apply for many. And we can accept however many we can, wherever we can make work with scheduling and stuff. Obviously, if you're more flexible for your schedule, you're more likely to be able to get a panel as well. So it all sort of depends on stuff like that, which means obviously we don't really know.
Yeah.
Right now how likely things are going to be, but you may as well apply. We'd love to see any ideas.
And this year, I'm trying to remember the dates. Is it the 3rd through the 5th this year?
I believe it is.
I'm going off the top of my head.
I just closed the Twitter where it had it open. 5th to the 7th. 5th to the 7th.
Oh, 5th to the 7th. So it's May 5th to May 7th It's the whole
Inclusive,
weekend.
yeah.
So it's just going to be a weekend of everyone just having fun. And it's going to be a blast. I'm looking forward to it. I always do. And same with Aka. I know 100% she enjoys this too. Otherwise, she wouldn't be here. So... Yeah, in terms of the applications, when do they close?
They close on the 26th of Feb.
26th of February?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's still a solid, 13 days, so there's still a decent amount of time. But don't wait till the last minute. Please do not wait till the last minute. Because,
Yeah.
I'm having a problem with that right now, but... but yeah, unless there's anything else you can think of, Aka, that you want to talk about off the top of your head?
We could discuss how the Artist Alley works, actually. Because that's kind of a unique setup, I think.
Yeah,
It's and how, the exhibitioners work and sort of the difference between them and how they function as part of the convention.
Yeah, if you want to handle that, go for it. I'm not much of an artist type, so I can't really... I don't spend much time there, because everyone does good work. That's all I know.
Yeah, Emblemcon was sort of founded by a group of artists, basically. So the Artist Alley has always been, a key part of the convention. So essentially the way it works is we have various, channels within the server that are the name of each artist in the Artist Alley. And they're grouped by block and they're grouped alphabetically, so it should be really easy to find everyone. So every artist will have their own channel, and if you click on that channel, then they will basically have a bunch of promotion for, merch. Loads of artists do giveaways or special bundles. The amount of people that have done really generous special Emblemcon bundles has been really heartening to see. You can get all sorts of deals on merch from loads of Fire Emblem games. We always try to make sure that there's a big diverse range of artists in terms of what games they represent, what kinds of merch they do, what art style they have, stuff like that. So you can view all of their stuff there. They will usually have it pinned in a comment, and then they can choose whether to allow discussions on their thread. If they do, you can chat to the artist. A lot of people would be oh my gosh, it's so nice to see you again. And basically we tend to end up with, including moderator slots, we tend to end up with 50 artists.
Yeah,
so
I was just counting that. I was how many did we have for last year? It was actually pretty much on the dot 50, so.
Yeah, we have because we've been getting more and more artist applications every year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we've all been very bad at rejecting them, so we'll end up with 50 artists, set in blocks A to E. And that will all be, the Artist Alley specifically will all be fan-made merch. That will all be stuff that is drawn by the artists themselves. Some of them will only be commission only, and they'll usually have an Emblemcon deal. Not always. Sometimes they'll just be a Fire Emblem artist who has opened up their commissions for the convention, and stuff like that. As well as the Artist Alley, we also have the Exhibitioners Hall, which it's not always obvious at first glance what the difference between those two is, but essentially Exhibitioners Hall is for people who either reselling merch. So Bard, for example, is usually there selling cipher cards.
Well, to be fair, that was only last year. I didn't do it before that, but last year I was taking part in selling cipher singles and boxes and sleeves and pins and pretty much anything that you can.
So many.
Pretty much anything that you can find in a cipher box or as a cipher box I was selling, but only the cheaper boxes because the more expensive boxes kind of go crazy in price. But yeah, I'm planning on doing that again this year because there's not many places, there's only one shop on the western side of the world that sells cipher stuff that's not eBay, Amazon, blah blah blah. There's only one shop that I could find where you don't have to ship from Japan. But yeah, so it was just make it a little bit easier. I can get stuff for a decent price and then just sell it off is what I did last year, and it worked pretty dang well, so hey.
Yeah, you had lots of people buying from you last year. It was very successful. So we also have people who sell as well as cipher stuff, but also stuff from Japanese conventions and other like Japan-only merch. We've had people who sell like via proxy. They'll sell like Japanese fan artists merch because they have like connections with Japan. We've also had people make stuff like vinyls and decals out of like official logos and stuff like that. So that's the other kind of stuff you see in Exhibitioners Hall, is like not like fan art, but merch made out of like graphical design and stuff like that. And we've also had like graphic artists who do like Fire Emblem based like banners and foam wallpapers and stuff like that. So that's essentially stuff that isn't just drawing fan art of this character. So like basically most other kinds of like creative selling. And we also have people who sell like cosplay props and stuff as well. So that's the kind of stuff you get in Exhibitioners Hall. And just like the Artist Alley, it'll be like alphabetical. We don't have as many usually in the Exhibitioners Hall, so you know that they won't need to have like different blocks. So that will just be alphabetical, and again you can look through there, and we make sure that everyone who comes is, if they've sold merch before, we make sure that they've sold merch successfully and they've been safe to order from. If anyone has like a history of not supplying orders, they won't be allowed in the convention. So you can confirm that like if they are someone who has sold before, at least to our knowledge, they have always been a successful person to buy from. And if you ever have experience otherwise, you can always let the mod team know and we'll look into it.
Yeah, but I don't think, as far as I can tell, there hasn't been much of an issue in terms of that, so that's pretty good.
No, we've received details. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
As I say, we've received details like between conventions of like, oh, this artist who you've previously had has not supplied X, Y, or Z, and then we've gone, okay, we will make sure to not promote them forward. So we listen to stuff like that if it ever comes up.
Yeah, we take stuff like that very serious. Like, if there's an issue, like, we're gonna be on it. But for the most part, the convention runs pretty dang smooth. And,
incredibly smooth.
We even have our own graphics designer, Daniel, Evernight Studio?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm pretty sure that's his thing. He does a fantastic job. He made the overlay that you guys are looking at. He did, what else does he do? He does like the logos for like.
He's become a part of the Good Vibes gaming crew. So he started as like their graphic designer, and now he is also a part of a lot of their videos, and he works on streams with them. He's also hired by like a ridiculous amount of people to do graphic design because, as you can tell, he is incredible. Like absolutely insanely powerful.
Oh yeah, he does a dang good job. So like we got a pretty good team of just talented people overall. Like we got a pretty handedly good team here. So I'm always happy to work with you guys, and yeah, I have fun. I learn stuff. It's a good time.
Yeah, we have moderators from all over the world. We've got people in Asian time zones, people in European time zones, many people in American time zones. So we've always got mods around most times of the day outside of the con, and then during the con we've got at least one mod around 24/7.
Yeah.
So there'll always be at least someone able to help you out, to do whatever during all hours of the convention.
For sure. And we are kind of looking for more like panelists that can like do things outside of the American time zone. So then there's something going on for a good amount of the time, I think it was, right?
Yeah, so wink wink nudge nudge, if you have panel ideas for outside of the American time zones, please. That's when we did our Radiant Dawn race, because we played for like, 3 hours or something. We were just like, let's play Radiant Dawn for 3 hours.
Yeah, I think I like fell asleep, I slept early and then I woke up for that, and it was like 1 or 2 in the morning, and we just went until I think it was like 4 or 5 in the morning my time or something. I can't remember, but I was like, I mean, I can do it.
We were just like, let's use this slot where no one else is doing stuff, and we'll just play Radiant Dawn. So if you want to do a panel like that, if you just want to like play a Fire Emblem game or something, you may as well apply. Like.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys don't, even if you're in American time zone, but you don't mind like staying up all night, like let's say you have like one of those jobs where it's like you work at night, so you're used to being up away at night anyway. You could just, and you have like that weekend off or something. Play a game at like 2 a.m. It's fine.
or if you're like me and ruin your sleep schedule for Emblemcon, go for it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be doing that this year too. I'm planning on taking like the whole weekend off just so I could be like, I need to focus on this and nothing else because I don't want to miss a second of it.
Yeah, at this point the event has grown to the size where most of our mods take time from their actual jobs off in order to handle moderating the convention.
Yeah, and that actually brings up an important point. The convention's free for you guys, okay? You don't have to pay for nothing. If you want to buy merch, that's up to you. You're not forced to pay a single dime for anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's all well, it's not really taken care of because we don't really pay for anything either. But we pay for our time. That's what we pay with.
The whole convention is completely free, and that will never change.
No.
We've had people request, can you do a meetup in person? Can you do this or that? And it's like, we are gonna keep it completely free. So if you want to apply for stuff, go for it. It's all free. Tables are free. If you want to be an artist, it's free to run a table. Like, completely free. We never ever will charge money for the con, and we will never limit time zones or limit location. It's always going to be completely available to you wherever you are, whenever you are, however much money you have, stuff like that. We have had charity donation things, and that's just because we like using our platform to support a good cause.
Yeah.
But that's completely optional. And it's like, you can donate if you want.
Yeah, basically, if you guys, if you don't have to buy anything, you don't have to donate nothing to like a charity. Like it's completely up to you if you want to buy anything or not. Although, like with all the goodies that we